Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage, and today we're going to be working on the 38 convertible project again. Last video was a huge one. Got the engine all redone, so to speak, a garage, backyard rebuild, so to speak, on it. We went through and cleaned out all the oiling system, painted it up real nice, got everything back in. Very happy with that. We decided to take kind of a week off to just stare at the car with the new original headlights back on it. And we also had some other lingering projects we need to take care of in the background. So we're back on this car. Big thing I wanted to do with this car is get it moving under its own power. That's what we've been pushing to do on this car. And a lot of these projects, if we can get them running and driving in a quick manner, it at least helps us as we're picking away at it and shooting videos and juggling cars. We can pull it in and out, because pushing these heavy cars, it sucks. So in the meantime, I've been ordering parts and hunting for stuff. So I had put an ad or a story up on our Instagram page that we were looking for a set of skirts. Believe it or not, I did not have a set in my stash. I've been trying to be better about selling stuff and not hoarding so much, and it came back to bite me. And this is why people become hoarders, because I did not have a set of skirts sitting around, and I had to put an ad up and just pay what it costs. So somebody hit us up on Instagram, Chris on Instagram hit us up, said, hey, I have a set left over from some car that he had bought and and gotten rid of, and he had a set of skirts. They weren't the exact ones I'm looking for, but I think they will satisfy me for now. So we got these. That'll be a fun part of the project today, is getting those videos on the car. Next thing's going to be working on the toe boards and the pedals. I want to get this thing moving under its own power. Can I say that enough times? So I just ordered a universal type gas pedal from Speedway. I think it would be just fine. It simplifies our life. I'm trying on this car to take a little bit of the easy route and not hand fabricate every freaking part on the car like some of my other vehicles. So I went the easy route, and for 50 bucks I got this simple pedal that we're going to mount to the car and hook a cable up to the throttle. So we're going to be working on making toe boards, getting the pedal mounted, getting the throttle cable hooked up, get the fuel lines all hooked back up in the car, and get the brake pedal and clutch pedal hooked up and the clutch hooked up. So hopefully by the end of the video, we could start this thing and move it under its own power, just in and out of the shop, which will be huge. So we'll see where we get, but we got a lot to tackle, and it should be a huge one. So let's get started.
Same inside the side. And that sheds. And you put the piece in here, like a piece of plate, and have the outside diameter of the bearing.
Well, we proved that with this bearing is not threads sticking out. You're seeing the new filming.
All right, so Steve has been working on these the floorboards there. You guys saw him cutting in the last couple shots, and did a great job. Got them all. We had the wood in stock. and he cut them up, and luckily we had the other ones for patterns, so he got them all cut, and he got the pedals mounted in. They're all the way down now. I don't know if you could show them, pulling them up. He had to fight a little bit to get the pedals in the frame. That's always a fun job. But now the brakes come all the way up.
Yeah, they come all the way up. They don't stay there, but they come all the way up.
That's fine. Nothing's connected yet, but that's a huge step. We got toe boards in the car, which it hasn't had proper toe boards. We don't know how long, because we took sheet metal that was just laid over top and screwed in because they had cut it out so poorly. So now we have factory-like toe boards. The pedals, yeah, factory-ish. Toe boards are back in. He made all the holes so that it actually bolts back in like it's supposed to. Now we can work on hooking up the clutch linkage next. And then now we have a location to mount our throttle pedal to. We're probably going to drill some holes and just, through bolt that into the toe board, and then we can hook. We have a throttle cable kicking around, so we'll run that through there and to the carburetor, and hopefully have all the things connected we need to make it sort of move under its own power, and then we just got to wire it up.
That is road test.
All right, so it's over the weekend. Steve's off today, and since we're kind of both tackling projects, I decided to do the fun thing till he gets back on the gas pedal, and he's already moving pretty good, and I don't want to mess up his work getting involved halfway through. So I was dying to unbox these skirts. We didn't have time the other day when Steve was working on the toe board, and I just got them unboxed. Cadillac Chris on Instagram hit us up. I had a little want to buy thing in our stories on Instagram, and I was nice enough, a couple people hit us up. Chris had a set that was pretty much exactly what I was looking for. These ones are pretty cool. We have a set on the 39 Mercury that are like the factory 40 Ford style bubble skirts that are probably the most popular ones everybody wants. I've had a ton of sets over the years. I always end up selling them, except if I need them for a car. This is a perfect example. I should always keep like one or two of something for myself, because when we're putting cars together, we never know what car we're going to get and put together. We had just sold last summer probably 2, 3, 4 sets of skirts, and we don't have any, so I had to buy a set, which is no problem. So I got this set. I really like these. These are pretty cool. They're supposed to have a little bit of shape to them. These ones have gotten a little flattened out over the years, which happens with this old stuff. Yes, you can buy a lot of the bubble skirts reproduction. It's kind of neat to get the original stuff and work with it. But these ones are unique. I don't know if they're being reproduced. They have this bead along the bottom that is pretty cool. There's a couple cars that I've seen that have that I really like. There's actually a car locally here in the Three Dog Garage Museum that is a 36, from best I can tell, it's like a 36 Cabriolet, or maybe it was a coupe that was cut and has a 40 Ford front end on. It's just such a bitchin' custom. A really cool car, but it has a set of these skirts on. I never really paid attention to them that much until I saw that car a couple years ago. I was like, wow, those skirts they're kind of nice. They look pretty cool. They're different. So when he said he had these, I was like, man, they're perfect. So I got these. One thing I want to show that's pretty neat on these skirts before I throw them on. These have a neat attachment point. I don't know if I ever had a set that had the original pieces on them, but they have these little wires, for lack of a better term. It's like a piece of round bar stock or whatever you want to call it that is put in here, and they, on both sides, it's very, very close. There and there. And if you've ever had skirts, and some of the crappier reproduction skirts, they don't stay on the car very well sometimes. You have to like drill holes. What these do is you actually spread the little clip out here and get it to go around the bottom lip of the fender, front and back, and it kind of hooks in, and there's like, it's actually kind of a pain in the ass to take them off. I already test fitted them because I couldn't wait. I'm gonna do it on camera. And they're kind of a pain in the ass to take off. And then you have your normal attachment point here that you rotate this rod. It can drop down, put up, rotate it, and clip it in. So, but having those two little clips there is really nice. I think the set I have upstairs doesn't have like an attachment point in the front like that that's near as nice or at all. I can't remember. So, without further ado, I'm going to put these on, see how they look. I've been dying to get skirts on this thing because I think it will definitely continue to complete the look. So, let me throw them on. All right, we'll get these mounted here. Of course, it's the middle of the winter. Got a bunch of snow. It's very cold out. I'm not able to push cars outside, so I have to work around my lift arms here. So, got this little clip I talked about. So what I found is it's easiest to just kind of spread that out over the lip of the fender down here. Spread it out over like that. So I got that first clip on, which is kind of a pain in the butt. There's a fender brace in there you have to go behind. And then in the front here, we could put the other clip, spread it out, get it over that bottom lip. And you can see it's already sitting under its own weight, which is awesome. Some of the other skirts, that's a problem. So now you can go catch that lip up top. There you go, nice and tight. So up in here a little bit, I can tell this skirt has, both of the skirts, they're original old pieces, they have pitting, whatever, but they're also been flattened out and dented over the years. Who knows, these were probably found in a junkyard or somewhere a million years ago and have been bought and resold 100 times like a lot of this old stuff. So they've lived a long life. It's hanging off just a little bit here. A lot of these skirts didn't fit perfectly, so they need some adjustment, but I can tell right in here on both skirts, it's flattened out a little bit, the shape isn't there, and that would pull the edge away. So what I'll end up doing is either putting it on a planishing hammer or the English wheel eventually, and pumping this up a little bit, giving it a little more shape there, and that will pull that edge back in tight, and it should work fine. But for now, let's step back and see what this looks like. Really psyched. Boom, there we go. That just changes the whole look of the car, putting skirts on this thing. It's amazing. These bigger cars like this, I think they just look so good when you put skirts on the back, and the back is just a little bit lower than the front. It just looks, you know, classy, if you will, and it just works. So happy to have these. You can see this little bead here that runs along the bottom. It's a nice little touch. I kind of like it. What I was thinking after I put them on the first time, it might be cool in this car, is if we go as far, I go back and forth like a lot of these cars. Do I want to take this thing to really nice and paint it, blah, blah, blah. If I was going to start doing some more body modifications on this, it might be cool to take that bottom bead or line there and maybe make a piece that has a similar line on the back of this fender here to kind of continue it through the car. So that was a little thought I had, is maybe add some little detail there out of metal. We could run it in the Pool Max, make a die and replicate that, and then we could pull it back and it would just make the skirts look even more like they're supposed to be on there from the factory. But I got the fun part of this. Steve's doing a little bit more tedious work, but hey, that's part of being the boss. I get to do fun stuff more often than not. So all right, I'm gonna get the other skirt on just for now so we could stare at it as we talk about, and then back to getting the throttle pedal and all that stuff hooked up in the car. All right, so I had thrown the tunnel in off camera, the original tunnel, just to make sure everything fit. Steve's got the floorboards just loosely bolted in, and we think what we figured out with the gas pedal is it should actually kind of go on the firewall. We were thinking it would go on the toe board, but it seems like with the spacing, I don't know if you could see. Yeah, you could probably kind of see it. Let me see what I mean there. So Steve's just putting her pedal pads back on. So it kind of looks like he can mount it right there, and there's a pre-existing hole that you can see right above that arm that is almost perfect. We kind of checked the cable to the carburetor and it looks great. I mean, honestly, it looks like it's nothing weird there. So we can just put eventually just put some kind of rubber grommet around that hole, and the cable can come through it and connect. And the pedal seems like a good spot. Steve checked it when he was sitting in the car off camera, and I mean, you could see the gas pedal is just, it's hard to see on camera, but it's right next to the brake pedal there. So it looks like it'll be a good jump back and forth. So yeah, I think that'll work. So we're going to drill 2 holes in the firewall and use like riv nuts to actually hold it to the firewall. And then we can, once we get that drilled, mount it up and run our cable, and it's starting to become car-like.
Yeah. There we go.
That's your first one right there.
Yep.
All right, get the drill out and just F it up some more.
Yeah.
gaskets over here
It
too.
might have been 365, maybe had bigger ports or something.
Might have been, yeah.
I don't know. Aha, got lucky.
Who needs a pull-up?
It must have been off before.
Yeah.
Is that other wheel sitting right on the seat? I don't do nothing. It'd be nice just to sit around and put the steering wheel on.
Oh, good lord.
I can't wait till I get to that point.
Yeah, right? You just get to do the fun shit. That would be nice.
There we go. There's just a little rust. Oh, that's cool. Shit, I need a socket. This thing's deeper. But that's easy enough just to fill the cracks and putty it up and then spray it, you know. And the car's even further along. There you go. I might hold on to this banjo wheel, it's so damn nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a good one.
And I did take something out of the case, so
Right, you gotta fill the spot. I think that's a rule, right?
it is a rule. It kind of sucks, because I hate when I take something out of a case and there's this big empty hole.
I know.
Shit.
You can't have that.
Yeah, that's way cooler. Gonna have to bend the shifter probably, but
Oh yeah. That is a neat wheel. With friggin' airplane wings.
yeah, it just looks, you know, for a custom,
Yeah.
that's the tip.
Yeah, that looks sharp.
Just bend the shifter to get out around it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Steve's been busy on this thing. I've helped him here and there, but not very much. He's been kind of buttoning everything up, so changed a few things around. He got the, as we talked about, the throttle cables all hooked up here with the pedal. I'm kind of okay with this little street roddy type stuff because it's hidden by the air cleaner, and who cares on this particular build. So he made a simple little stand here to hold the throttle cable, got all the ignition just about hooked back up. I did the fun stuff and swapped the different steering wheel on. I was talking about, this is a Mercury accessory wheel. I think it might be 49 to 51. Somebody might correct me, I forget, but it's in that era. Accessory Mercury wheel. I've had kicking around. It's in good shape. It's this bone color that some of them came in. I may end up fixing some of the cracks and spraying it the same white that we did the firewall and the garnish molding is going to be, and the dash is going to be eventually. But for now, I just swapped it on just because it's cooler. Anyways, got that in. We got the pedal and stuff. Steve got the pedals and everything in. We worked yesterday on the linkage. We had to just, like all these cars, modify stuff, but we got the clutch linkage working. We pulled it off the lift and left it in gear and rocked it, and then pushed the clutch and made sure everything worked. So the clutch seems like it should work. We got a gas pedal. We are just about ready to fire this thing up again. He's working on, he moved the coil to the firewall here, much better position. There was already some wires there. I mean, a bolt hole for that. So he's making a different coil wire. And we're gonna probably swap the Patronics eventually, just to, you can hide them in these distributors very easily. And it'll just make it for pretty much a trouble-free, no adjustments needed for a very long time. So once we get all that stuff together, we're gonna try and fire this again for the first time since we had everything back in. Hopefully it cooperates, and then we're gonna see if it moves forward and back for the first time in probably since the early 70s, which is very exciting. All right, so we have all of our jumper wire madness in here, and we're gonna try and run this thing. First, we need to crank it to get some oil pressure because we had the top end all apart, and yeah, I'll make sure we got good oil pressure before we start running this. So, Steve also found on the starter, we were taking the starter apart, and there's what, a little disc in there.
Yeah.
And the disc was corroded, I guess you could say, and you could only see tiny little dots of copper where it was touching. And Steve showed it to me. It almost looked like it was like black, like it was black.
Yeah,
and
one of the readers made a comment. I had forgotten all about that. I mean, I hadn't taken a solenoid apart in 40 years, you know. So as soon as I saw the comment from the reader, I was like, oh yeah, That's right.
And sure enough, he took it apart and it was little dots all around it. So hopefully now our cranking issue with the starter should be solved. Fingers crossed. I'm sure it'll stick now that I said that. But.
Yeah.
All right, so we're in neutral and we got a fresh battery.
We got gas in the tank, we got gas in the car.
We just got to get some oil pressure.
Yep.
So the gauge is all hooked up.
Mm-hmm. All right, you ready?
All right, so what else? This is ignition here?
That's ignition, yep.
Don't do anything right now, but we'll find out.
All right, you ready?
Yep. Well, it should need fuel. It's cranking.
Now it's got it. Wow!
That's what we want. All right.
That was pretty freaking cool.
Good, yeah. For once.
Yeah.
That's how you want it to start.
Hell yeah. That was
And-
awesome.
I was worried about because we had such a hard time getting fuel to the pump.
Yeah.
But I guess as soon as it's got a little suction, it's fine. But
Yeah.
it was just dry before, but
Mm-hmm.
that worked out great.
That was freaking awesome.
Start right up and idle perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so now we gotta see if the clutch works. Oh, look at this.
Yeah, there you go.
You're gonna have to turn me off though. Well, actually, you can just start it. All right.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Ignition. Oh, there's our spark.
There it is.
Neutral.
Yep.
Son of a bitch.
Awesome. We gotta adjust the clutch just a little tighter. It's like
Yeah.
either that or maybe it was idling a little high
Mm-hmm.
because it wouldn't just fall into gear. It was like
Yeah.
because when I started going forward, I had the clutch in and it was still
Oh, it's still creeping.
just a little bit. So,
Yep.
yeah. So that's no big deal. We just gotta adjust the clutch a little more. That's
Freaking
awesome. Man, that's cool. All right, so we couldn't have asked for an easier start. This thing just fired right up. It was kind of surprising, even though we started it a couple of times. Steve and I were just joking off camera. It's like we're always, you're always sweating it because you never know if something's wrong. Or we had so much stuff apart in the engine. You never know if you had something stupid that we mixed up or didn't think of. But it fired right up and ran, which is great. Of course, the brand new Holley carburetor really helps. We already had fuel up to it and kind of troubleshot all that stuff ahead of time with previous videos. But we got a ton done in this video. It's kind of crazy. We got the battery cables and the battery all hooked up. The clutch linkage is hooked up. I just need to adjust the clutch just a little bit more. I don't know if the idle was a little too high or just needs a little more of the free play taken out. Didn't quite fall into gear how I wanted, but it moved forwards and backwards under its own power, which we know by the inspection sticker was at the very most 1972-73 was the last time that it really ran and moved under its own power. So it's a big thing, but the list of stuff that we got done, we got really fun stuff done, which I was able to do, the skirts and the steering wheel, the Mercury accessory steering wheel. We got the toe boards done, pedals are in. Steve actually off camera got the old Yankee dual circuit master cylinder and adapter in, so we're gonna be doing some brake stuff here soon. So we are getting very close to this thing like actually being a car. So we're gonna work on getting a radiator, a cooling system in. We just started it very quickly to move it and show you for this video, but we're gonna get the cooling system in. We gotta make a custom mount for the generator because we don't have room for it down low. So we're gonna make a mount for that. Do a bunch of that stuff and get this thing closer to being actually movable. That's the biggest thing with how many projects we juggle for the channel. We need to get stuff mobile as quick as possible, so if we need something for the lift or there's something we want to shoot a video on, we're not pushing cars out. Especially in the winter time, pushing cars in and out definitely sucks. So Huge step on the 38 convertible. Appreciate you guys following along. Let me know what you think of the 38 convertible with the skirts and everything else on it. Thanks, guys. Catch you later.